Yes, I have found the dress. What's the word? Cinematic? Cinematic. And not like a pretty, like one single tear coming down my cheek. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. I have been getting so many questions about my wedding and like the whole planning process, and so I thought it'd be super fun to do a wedding planning Q&A here. Jason and I are getting married in April of 2024, and we have a good amount planned, but there's still so much to do. But without further ado, let's dive in. The first question comes from Anima Laudry, who asks, what is your wedding theme? So we are getting married by the beach, so it's not actually on the beach, but it's gonna be like a terrace on top of the beach, if that makes sense. And so with that said, we definitely want to do a beachy theme, but nothing overly nautical, so no sailboats or anchors or anything like that. We definitely want to tie in subtle nods to the ocean though. So for instance, all of my bridesmaids are going to be in different shades of a dusty blue, and there's also going to be a big theme on pearls, which again, I feel like ties back into the ocean theme without it being overly in your face. We want to find a balance between very modern and bright, but also super romantic and organic. Julie777 asks, where is the wedding going to be? Like I mentioned, we are going to be kind of on the beach, and so we're getting married in Newport, Rhode Island at Newport Beach House. I toured a few venues, and I have a short form video coming out pretty soon that kind of explores the two and how I chose Newport. But in a nutshell, we just really loved the overall aesthetic and how bright the place was. So I'm from Massachusetts, and I feel like a lot of the venues around me are super rustic, which I think is super pretty, but not really me or Jason's vibe. And so we thought Newport Beach House was just absolutely perfect for the both of us. Next up, Vivi May asks, have you bought the dress yet, and when can we see it? Yes, I have found the dress. Unfortunately, I am keeping a tight lid on it until after the wedding, mostly because I do not want Jason seeing it at all before the wedding. I definitely want to keep it traditional and make it a surprise. It's super important for me, and it's also incredibly important for him as well, actually. But I can tell you that the dress is by Berta, specifically from their Muse line. It's kind of a wholesome story. So we went to New York, my mom and two of my close friends, to try on the dresses at Berta, and it was the first place that I had tried on dresses. I had this one specific dress pinned on my Pinterest for literally years, and I knew that I always wanted to try it on. So we get to the place, I try on the dress, and honestly, it's a beautiful dress, but it was a little bit underwhelming for me. Like, I didn't feel like it was just perfect. I didn't feel like it was the one. And so I tried on a ton of dresses that I had saved and wanted to try on, and every single one, again, absolutely stunning. I think they looked amazing, but they just weren't me. Something was just missing. And then the last dress, my stylist, not my stylist, but like the person who worked there and like, you know, helped me try on the dresses, she pulled one off the rack and she was like, oh, like, why don't you try this one? And at first I was like, I don't know about this. It doesn't, I don't know, I just don't really like it. She was like, just wait. I said, wait until you put it on. And oh my God, she was right. Like, as soon as I put it on and I saw myself in the mirror, like my eyes lit up. Like, I literally have a video of it that I'll share post-wedding, but you can see the moment where I see myself in the mirror and I'm like, holy this is the one. It just made me feel so good in it and so happy, and it really felt like a magical princess moment. I don't know, it was just perfect. And what's even more wholesome is that every single time I tried on a dress, I asked my mom, and she's like very picky. She's like the hardest woman to please. I asked her, I was like, oh mom, like, what do you think about this? And she would just like sit there with her arms folded and just kind of like shake her head like, But this dress, okay, this was the only one where she just like smiled and nodded in approval. And like, to me, I just knew in her language that meant like thumbs up. Like, it was the one. So I was really, really happy with it. Okay, the next question comes from Nene Nevea. I'm so sorry if I did not say that right. Who asks, are you going to have a traditional wedding? I think yes, for the most part. I would say it's like pretty traditional. Like, I am walking down the aisle, you know, we're not doing a first look. Originally, I actually wanted to do a first look because I know for a fact that I'm going to be bawling my eyes out, and not like a pretty, like one single tear coming down my cheek. No. I mean, like, my face is just gonna be all squished. It's not gonna look pretty, but it's gonna be a very wholesome moment. But anyways, so I know that I'm going to cry. And so I was like, let's do a first look so I can get all the tears out, kind of fix myself, and then we can, face the crowd. When I proposed that to Jason, he was like, no, I definitely want to have like that traditional, fairy tale movie-esque moment of you like walking down the aisle and that's the first time they see you. He does not care about like the wedding planning at all. It's like been 100% like me, like my decisions, but this was like the one thing that he really cared about, like really had an opinion on. So I was like, okay, you are right. And I do agree. I do really love, the whole traditional aspect of it, of like, I'm just like walking down the aisle and he's like seeing me for the first time and, that whole like movie thing. So that is definitely traditional. I would say kind of sprinkling in a few things that aren't super traditional, but I would say like aren't untraditional. I don't know. For instance, both of my parents are walking me down the aisle instead of just my dad, because my mom and I have a super, super close relationship. And so I just thought it would mean the world to me if both of them walk me down the aisle. Another kind of untraditional thing we're doing, my brother is also going to be officiating the wedding, and so it was really important for me to have him as part of the wedding process. So even though he's not really technically in the groom's party, I just really wanted him to play a part in the wedding, and he also told me that he's gonna cry, so I'm excited to see that. Okay, next up, Anonymous asks, are you hiring a videographer? Yes, 100%. It was actually probably one of my top priorities to really find a perfect, really good videographer. And I am so excited to be working with Move Mountains Co. I found them because I was actually looking at videos of Newport Beach House, the venue. And so I stumbled across them and their work is absolutely incredible. Extremely, what's the word? Cinematic. Yeah, Jane, my assistant's in the corner, just like nodding her head like, what is going on? Yeah, cinematic. So their shots are insane. They pull out the drone, so we're gonna have like overhead shots of like the waves, and it really does feel like a movie. I'm sure you guys have seen a snippet because we had the chance to work with them on my meet and greet. So incredibly excited to be working with them again. Make sure to check out their stuff if you haven't already. Anonymous asks, are you getting a DJ or a live band? So for the reception, we are getting a DJ, and we're super stoked to be working with Cani from Elite Entertainment. He really has a ton of energy. We had our onboarding call with him and he just knows what's up. He knows how to have a good time. So I'm really excited for that. Originally, our plan was just to have a DJ for the entirety of it, including the ceremony. But then I got into my head that I really wanted live musicians for the ceremony in specific. And so we recently secured a pianist and a violinist for the ceremony. The last question comes from Anonymous, who asks, are you going to write your own vows? Yes, we are. I actually already wrote mine. I might have to like revisit them because they're pretty old. So I don't know, probably like a couple months after he first proposed, I just woke up in the middle of the night and I just started feeling like really sentimental. I just have all these thoughts and ideas about how much I love him. Like, let me just write them down in my notes app. And I guess it kind of just spiraled from there and I ended up writing a ton of vows. So yeah, we are gonna write our own and I'm really excited. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to even say them because I'm gonna be crying so much. Like, I'll probably just be like sobbing through, and probably like those sobs where you like cannot speak. You're like, I'm gasping for air. So we'll see if I ever actually get to the vows, but yes, we are writing our own. Hi again. So I just finished filming and I was formatting all the footage and I realized I never shot an outro. So here you go. I already changed back into my pajamas, but anyways, thank you so much for submitting your questions and for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what other wedding content you want to see. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.